Okay, so StarNet finished removing stars. We have now two tips, one with stars and the second one a starless version, no stars. And now I will open both these files in GIMP. So let's choose File, Open as Layers. And let's open those two tips. Lights M42. 16 bits and 16 bits, no stars. Okay, so these are those two files. This is the version with stars. And this is the starless version. As we can see, not all stars were removed. There are two of them, or three, which are so bright and so burnt out that StarNet treated them as part of the nebula. But it's not a problem. I will deal with these stars later. So right now, let's process the stars. So the first thing is to make the layer containing only stars. To do this, as usual, the layer with starless version has to be on top, the version with stars has to be below, and when setting the blending mode to subtract, the blending mode of the upper layer to subtract, we get stars only layer, new from visible, and this is the layer with stars only. If we look at the layer with stars again, we can see that especially the smaller stars, they are slightly elongated. Can you see? They are not round, they are slightly trailing, slightly elongated on a diagonal direction. I think that's because of imperfections in my mount, in tracking. So the first thing will be to correct this trailing of stars. So let me select the layer with stars again. Let's choose Edit, Copy, and let's paste this layer as new image. For correcting the trailing stars, I will use my usual trick, which I think I showed before in some of my previous videos, I mean. So let's scale the image. Let's scale the image to 400%. Okay, so the image is scaled up. We have to wait again a little bit. Now let's duplicate the layer. Let's set the blending mode of this upper layer to darken only. And now if we zoom in, maybe here, sorry. It is visible right here on the smaller stars that they are elongated in this direction. So let's move the upper layer a little bit. Layer, transform, offset. And now if I move the upper layer, in the same time, I think I will move it a little bit to the right and a little bit down. So let's move it Yes, I think I will move it a little bit to the right and a little bit down. Is it okay? No, it should be moved to the left and okay, so to the left and up. And now we see that the stars became nice and round. So 1 pixel to the left. Maybe I will move it up. Okay. 1 pixel to the left and 2 pixels up. In this way, the shape of stars is corrected. And now we have to wait again. Okay. And now let's scale the image down again to 25% to return to the original 100% size. Okay, so the image is scaled down again. The stars are much rounder. Now let's say more round. So now I will click New from Visible. I will copy this new layer and I can paste it here, paste as new layer. Just for comparison, this is the new layer with stars with corrected shape, and this is the old layer, the original layer with stars. As we can see, in the new layer the stars are much better, they are round. So let me delete this layer for now, because what we need to do, I will delete this layer and I will also delete this layer. Let's call this one stars corrected. Now what we can do is we can make the stars darker. So let's duplicate the layer, especially the ones which are blown out, burned out. So this is the copy. Let's choose select by color tool. I press left mouse button, drag the cursor to the right, and in this way I select the color on which I clicked originally. So yeah, the burnt out stars are selected. Now let's select. Let's grow the selection, let's say by 12 pixels. Now let's feather the selection. Let's say 10 pixels. Alright, and now filters, distorts, value propagate, more black. More black, and as usual I will set the propagating rate to about 0.5. So now we have, select none. Now we have a layer with smaller stars. We can compare them. Yes, these are the original stars after shape correction, and these are the new ones which are darker. Okay, so this is the first stage. Now what we can do is, because the image of stars was scaled up and then scaled down again, the stars are not so sharp as they could be. So I can try to make them sharper using high pass filter. So I duplicate the layer, I choose filters, enhance, high pass. I tried this before, so I already know that the standard settings are quite okay. So let's choose standard settings, let's click OK. And we have a new layer after high pass filter, and now if I set the blending mode of this layer to overlay, we will have, as a result, we will have more sharp stars because there is some contrast added to the stars. So now let's click New from Visible, Stars Sharp. If we compare them, you see, that's it's such simple things, and they work, well, maybe not miracles, but they do work. So these are sharpened stars, and these are the stars before sharpening. As we can see, the centers of the stars, of the not sharpened stars, are darker, and the new stars, the new stars look more sharp. So now let's make another, let's make the stars a little bit darker again, just a little bit. Darker and smaller. Select, grow 12 pixels. Select feather 10 pixels. Filters. Enhance, distorts. Value propagate. More black. Propagating rate to about 0.5. And select none. Okay, so these are stars which are sharpened, made a little bit darker, once more. So now I can increase saturation, duplicate layer, sharp copy, sharp smaller. Delete. To increase the saturation, I will make two layers. The first one I will blur a little bit, Gaussian blur, on a default setting. And I can play with saturation, so right mouse button, colors, saturation, and let's increase it. I think the overall coloration of these stars is alright. After all, it's ED glass in the refractor I was using. There is slight color misalignment in some stars, but I don't think this is something which will make troubles. I don't care much about such small imperfections in stars, let's say it like this. So the blurred version, the blurred layer has increased saturation because I increased the saturation, and the layer on top, I will set the blending mode to luminance and activate this layer. So the original size of stars and original brightness is taken from, after all these corrections, but they are sharp. These stars were not blurred, so the shape and brightness is taken from the upper side, and the color with the increased saturation is taken from the lower layer. Okay, so now let's choose New from Visible. Let's call it Stars Finish. And now we can edit, copy and paste this layer as a new layer. And we can compare, this is the new layer with new stars, with corrected stars, and these are stars before corrections. As we can see, the stars were trailing, there was not much saturation, not much color in these stars. After correction we have better shape, they are still sharp because I applied high pass filter. And they are more colorful because I increased saturation. So, okay, we can try to add this new layer just for preview to the starless version of the nebula, of the image. Because yes, we have the starless version. If I set the blending mode of stars to addition, the stars will be added to our starless image. And as we can see, everything blends perfectly, looks very natural, and yeah, the stars are better than they were before corrections. Okay, so this is how to say, this is processing of stars, and this processing is finished. So now I will save the file just in case, and we will start working on the nebula. But first, let's save the file.